I watched a video where a black American relocated to Nigeria and went to a place in a far land, built a house, and he built that house and I think he built the house while in America before relocating. So when he came back to Nigeria, he stayed in that village where he built his house without, bothering about taxes and all of this. This doesn't mean that Nigerians don't pay tax. It doesn't mean that tax payment is wrong. But what this man was trying to say is that, well, let me say what he was saying. He said that this house, he bought it for about $10,000 thereabout, the land, and built it and all of that, and some other monies they added to it. He showed the land the other side at the back. He said, see, that land is free. He can build. He has a land there. He has a land the other side. He also has a land this other side, that in that place he can eat whatever he wants to eat, and there's natural food, there's land to cultivate too. He doesn't pay for water because the water, he has a borehole where he gets water from. He dug a borehole. Another thing he said, he doesn't pay for food because he cultivates the food beside his house. So he buys everything he does everything within his environment. He doesn't need to go and start paying so much. He say he breathes natural air because where he lives in the village, that village is where he loves to live. Then he talked about, so somebody was saying on the comment section that yes, that in Nigeria, especially the Igbos, they like to build back home. That you should not follow all these things people are saying, don't invest in Africa, don't invest in Nigeria, that you should not follow all those things. That it's very important that those people will only use you when you are old and you can no longer be useful. They will dump you. So it's better for you to, invest back home and be sure that your investment is something that will yield something for you, that even if you have to come back and stay in your place and do farming, it is better than staying where you are and somebody's treating you like you are a nobody. That he breathes natural air. Look at mangoes everywhere, free, and everywhere is safe, and he's enjoying. He lives in the forest, like in the remote areas, not basically forest, but in the remote areas in the village, and is not afraid of anything. Somebody on the comment now asked, what about security? Some people responded to that person and said security is not a problem because they have security in that area. So at the time we get to a point where we look at our own country and think it's bad. No, we cannot continue like that. We have to wake up, because somebody was saying if a black American can be saying this, which means it's true, and it sounds so real, that him too, he has started building in his village and he feels good about it. This person said for a black American to be talking like this, he wants to come back and also build. So many people were talking about coming back home to build, that the natural environment, the everything, you breathe fresh air, you eat everything natural, no preservatives. But you guys know that all this preservative is the reason why there is increase in the rate of cancer patients, right? Because in those days where we didn't used to eat canned food, we cultivated what we wanted to eat, everything we needed we got. We wanted fish, we went to the stream or river to get fish. All this, there was no, just recently people started doing all this fish pond, where they will have the pond in a bucket and all, feeding the fish with whatnot just to make it look fat. In those days, you can't get those kind of things. In those days, you don't get those kind of things. If you want to have a fish pond, you did an eating pond where the fish eats natural and feels natural and everything. The fish can even travel to the nearby water and come back to your pond. The fish can do anything within and it's natural. But these days, you find out that everything has been, like when I talked about the GMO food, you see that if you have pepper now, that you bought from the market, you pour the pepper for nursery, you discover that the pepper will grow even after transplanting. It will not bear. It will just be bringing out flowers. It will never bear, because those products are GMO products. They are modified. So it's high time we went back to how we used to do things in those days, where we planted our own crops, we planted our own okra. The other day I harvested okra from my farm, and it was so pure, like no manure. It was pure. I had to dice it and dried it to make okra soup, the dry okra soup, So when people came to my house, they're like, wow, you have okra? I'm like, yes, I have okra. They're like, wow, that's nice. And when you plant things, you cultivate something that it's you that is eating. you feel good in your system. It's just like planting ugu, what we call the pumpkin, or water leaf, or you plant your own afang, all those things. You are eating good, you're eating well. Nobody is going to like say, oh, you are looking sick and all that. Watch people who changed their diet and started eating what they cultivated. They hardly went to the hospital. They hardly went to the hospital. So Nigeria is so blessed that people underrate it. But those people who live outside the country, who have stayed there, they can attest to it that you can never compare America to Nigeria in any form. You can't. Everything you see in this market is 100% organic from the farm. I know there are a few GMO products, but those ones are easily found in supermarkets. But in the open market, you find out that people sell organic things. In this market now, we'll say 95% of things sold there are organic. Just a few will be GMO because, of course, some people just like to do things to cut costs, shortcut and all of that. So Nigeria is a blessed place. Nigeria is a place you should come and invest. I tell you this, if you can invest in Nigeria and make a lot of money. Now, the tax we pay in Nigeria is not much. So you can't even compare that to America. Our tax is not much. When you build a house, you live in the house or you give it out to people for rent. Whatever tenement rate you are paying, it's not much. Everything is just easy. I keep telling people, somebody said that what about what is going on right now in Nigeria? There's food crisis. I said there's no food crisis. There is no food crisis in Nigeria. What is going on in Nigeria is born out of bad government policies. Where it looks as though they have food shortage, they do not have food shortage. You just saw the market. Does that place look like a country that has food shortage? A place where there's food shortage, you go into the market, you won't see tomato, you will not see pepper, you will not see potato, you will not see yam, you will not see anything, plantain. You won't see, you'll be looking for. That is when you talk about food shortage. But when there is food and people are not able to buy, it's not food shortage. It's government policies, bad government policies. Because now people say, you people don't have fuel in Nigeria. No, we have fuel in Nigeria. It's still based on bad government policies. That is the cause. Because now if you tell somebody that a country will not, a government will not be able to set up and work on their refinery, or better still build a new one, then a single man builds a refinery and they will not sell him fuel at a agreed price. They want him to now buy the fuel expensive and refine it and sell it cheap. And the man says no. They began to have issues. So when you look at all these things, it boils down to bad government policies. So it's not about Nigeria. Because Nigeria has come to stay. Politicians will come and go, but Nigeria still remains the same. So whatever it is that you think is not working in Nigeria or you think is a miss, just know it's bad government policies. And no president will live there forever, no matter how long. According to our constitution, you stay for 8 years, even if they decide to amend the constitution and make it such that it will suit them or suit any other person coming in, one day the person will still live. So we cannot say because one person is doing something that is wrong, it is the whole Nigeria. So I'm so happy that this Black American was able to tell people to come and invest in Nigeria. He talked about all the advantages. In fact, the disadvantages were not even there from all he said. But we know that in every advantage, there's always a disadvantage, right? But in this case, he had said openly that instead of you being a slave in another man's country, it's better for you to come back and invest, build your own house, build your own property. Even if you want to, you are there and you are sending down money to build a house. Sell it, build another one, sell it, because each time you build and sell, you are making money. There are people who don't build and rent. They build and sell because they say renting gives them stress. Maybe you have given someone to rent, in the next year, the person is struggling to pay. So some people just build these houses. You can decide to build shops, plazas. Those are another very lucrative business. Build plazas. You can buy a land in Abuja, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt. Although in Lagos, for now, I'll tell you to hold on because of what's going on in Lagos. But in Abuja, there are lands here that you can buy and build plazas for people to come rent, and you get a manager to manage it. We have so many managers in Abuja that are very, very reputable, that can actually build and manage those properties for you. They will just be remitting the money to you. So Nigeria is a blessed country. It's not a cliche. It's no cliche. It's not for mouth, or it's not bragging. Forget about the political aspect. Politicians are not people that we will be roping into whatever we are doing. So Nigeria is blessed, and that is it. We cannot, overemphasize this. So if you want to invest, come to Nigeria, invest your money, so that the day you are tired of staying in America, you can come home. You come home and stay, and nobody will begin to tax you up and down. You will not be spending all your money